Alright, let's dive into this, because it's a story that's got me thinking about the bigger picture in rugby right now. So, the Wallabies are bringing back Tom Hooper for their second clash against Japan, and, personally, I think this is more than just a squad update. It's a statement about where Australian rugby is heading. Hooper, a 23-test veteran, is no stranger to the big stage, but what makes this really interesting is the timing. Coming off a strong debut season with the Exeter Chiefs, where he faced heartbreak in the Premiership final, Hooper's return feels like a strategic move to bolster the Wallabies' forward pack. But here's the thing, it's not just about his skill set. Hooper's inclusion speaks to a broader trend in international rugby, the importance of depth and versatility in a squad. In my opinion, this is where the Wallabies have been struggling lately, and bringing back a player like Hooper, who can slot in at lock or blindside, is a smart play. Now, let's talk about Hooper's journey, because it's a detail I find fascinating. He last played for the Wallabies in the Nations Championship opener against Ireland, where they narrowly lost. Since then, he's been sidelined with a shoulder injury, which, if you take a step back and think about it, is a common theme in rugby these days. Injuries are reshaping careers, and the ability to come back stronger, both physically and mentally, is what separates good players from great ones. Hooper's return isn't just about his physical recovery, it's about his mental resilience. What this really suggests is that the Wallabies are betting on his experience and adaptability to make a difference against Japan. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. Hooper's return comes at a time when the Wallabies are desperate for consistency. Their recent win against Japan in Osaka was nail-biting, to say the least. A 35-32 victory is not the kind of scoreline you want to see when you're trying to rebuild a team's confidence. Personally, I think this is where Hooper's presence could be a game-changer. He's not just a player, he's a leader in the pack. Under Joe Schmidt, he was a regular starter, and his player of the match performance against the Lions in 2025 is still fresh in everyone's minds. What many people don't realize is that Hooper's versatility allows the Wallabies to experiment with different combinations, which could be crucial in a tight series like this. Now, let's zoom out for a second. The Wallabies' last back-to-back wins were against the British and Irish Lions and the Springboks in August 2025. That's a year ago. A year. If you ask me, that's a worrying statistic for a team with Australia's rugby pedigree. The fact that they're relying on a player like Hooper to stabilize the squad raises a deeper question. Where's the next generation of talent? Sure, Harry Wilson, Rob Valetini, and Fraser McReight are solid, but they need someone like Hooper to anchor the pack. This isn't just about winning a test match, it's about rebuilding a legacy. From my perspective, Hooper's return is a band-aid solution, but it's one that could buy the Wallabies some time to figure out their long-term strategy. Finally, let's talk about Japan. The Brave Blossoms are no pushovers, and their performance in Osaka proved that. Warner Durn's late try almost turned the game on its head, and that's something the Wallabies need to be wary of. Hooper's inclusion might give them the edge they need, but it's not going to solve all their problems. One thing that immediately stands out is the Wallabies' discipline, or lack thereof. Miles Amatisiro's red card in the first test was a massive setback, and if they want to secure a series win, they need to clean up their act. In my opinion, Hooper's experience could be the calming influence they need, but it's going to take more than one player to turn this team around. So, here's my closing thought. Hooper's return is a step in the right direction, but it's just one piece of a much larger puzzle. The Wallabies are at a crossroads, and while his inclusion might give them a short-term boost, the real challenge lies in addressing the systemic issues that have plagued them for the past year. If you take a step back and think about it, this isn't just about winning a test series, it's about reclaiming Australia's place in the rugby world. And that, my friends, is a story worth watching.